So, Lil Nas X, his new video, shaking up the internet in the hip hop world again, just like his last video when he was twerking on Satan. Listen, man, what I'm about to say is probably going to be controversial, but it's only going to be controversial because I'm from the stand, the Sun Belt, the community. But I'm actually happy Lil Nas did this. I think this is a good thing. This is a great video. This is going to do wonders for the community. And I'm not being facetious and I'm not being sarcastic when I say that. I really do. I'm telling you, man, because look, our community, it's cool to go to jail. I wanted to go to jail when I was a teenager. I wanted to go to prison. It's like a rite of passage to go to jail, to go to prison. So many brothers have done it. You kind of feel like an oddball if you haven't. And that's a bad thing in our community. The young guys all want to go to jail. They want to go to prison. They want to be down. They want to be street certified. And you can even see it on YouTube. A lot of the great YouTubers are guys that came home from jail. Because they from the stand. They from that same community where prison is part of it for the men. It's part of the deal. If you a black man, prison is part of the deal. Some point in life. Because you're probably going to be dabbling in the streets and whatnot. And guys get a lot of gravitas and status and social currency. Very important term for you guys to learn. Social currency. Where in the black community, Blackistan, you don't have to be rich monetarily. You can have social currency. That's why a lot of people say, oh, the girls, they like the Pookies and the Ray Rays, man. They like the thugs. Well, no, they don't really like thugs and Pookies and Ray Rays. Those are the guys with social currency in their community. Okay? In the black community, it's good to be a bad MFer, man. To quote Glenn Lowry, the great professor from Brown University. Black community being a bad MF, and one way to be a bad MFer is to be tough in a little dungeon built by a bunch of skinny white boys called prison. So you got to go to this place where built by a bunch of nerdy white guys, and you got to go to this place where you have no rights, and you live in a cell, and they let you out your cell for a certain period of time each day. You have to go to that place and be a tough guy. And if you can go to that place and be respected and hold your own, then you get currency in the community. And guys want to be you and girls want to love you. But there is one catch. There's something called situational homosexuality. It's very common. It was common on pirate ships. It was common in armies. Old armies that had to travel by foot and horseback and whatnot, and they were away from their homes for great periods of time. It's called situational homosexuality. It's a term. To where even guys who are do not have those proclivities to be in the LGBT community, if put in a situation where women are removed from the equation, and for a long period of time, in large groups of men, many men will indulge in situational homosexuality. Okay? All right? And that's very prevalent in prison and jail. Now, bring it back full circle. 60% of the people in prison are black men. We make up 6% of the population of the country and 60% of the prison population. We're overrepresented in jail. If you roll up on a group of 5 brothers, 3 of them been to prison. Facts. 3 of them been to jail or prison. Been incarcerated to some degree. Facts. You take 10 YouTubers. Pick 10 male YouTubers out of a hat. 6 of them in the prison or jail. Now, it's not that bad for the NBA and the NFL because those guys are identified as prospects very young, even before high school, and they're they're coddled and nurtured and brought up the ranks, and their skills are honed, and they have people behind them, and even many of them still end up in prison or jail. However, it's not as bad as the rest of Blackistan. Look at hip-hop. Hip-hop, 9 out of 10 rappers been to jail. Let's keep it a buck. Okay? 9 out of 10. And it's a lot of guys in the community, not all, that use their time in the penitentiary, in prison, as a, kind of like one-up. Like they got something on you. I've been to the pen. You ain't never been to the pen. I did 10 years. You just did a skip bid. They use that, and that's part of the street culture. I get it. But it's mainstream in the black culture. If you were talking about that on the streets, if you in a street atmosphere, and you talking about how much time you did and all this stuff, that's perfectly fine. I ain't no fucking, I'm not no lame, man. I mean, well, I'm a square, hip square, whatever you want to call it, but, half a pookie, whatever. I understand. If you on a block, if you in a setting, yeah, that type of talk is relevant and it's whatever. But that type of talk is mainstream in our community. I did more time than you. I was at this jail and I was the man. I ran the phones at this jail and I was the man at this, in this tier, in that dorm. And that type of talk is mainstream. And it's pervasive in the community. Where people who've been to prison, a place where there's no girls, where white dudes tell you what to do all day. Because a lot of these prisons are out in the mountains. They're out in certain towns. Like, I went to one prison. I went to one city, Albion. There's an upstate New York, and they had a prison up there. And I didn't go to the prison, but I was at a party in a building near the prison, and my family was from there. Is from there, so they just tell, and you could just see the prison. You could see all the guards going. All the guards was white. And we was talking about it. Yeah, all the guards in the prisons is white, and it's a lot of towns where it's like that. Where the whole economy of the town is based around the prison. So our community, we give you gravitas and standing for going to that place. And it's a lot of Lil Nas X's in there, braiding hair, massaging toes, giving back rubs, and even more. You heard? And I don't want to hear that, man. I was sleeping with the CO. Listen, man. That's so rare. Because some of the COs are females. It's thousands of y'all in there, man. It's like, come on, man. Even if every CO was a female, which they ain't, you know what I'm saying? Which they not. It ain't enough for y'all to all get some. Because they all ain't rocking like that. And the ones who is rocking like that, they going with certain type of dudes and it's certain type of situations. I don't want to hear that from every dude. I was in there sleeping with the COs. Nah, all y'all wasn't doing that. Stop it. A lot of y'all was in there sleeping with Lil Nas X, man. And it's okay. That's what you did, and that's what you did, and that's your business. I damn sure don't want to know about it. But I'm glad Lil Nas X did this, because maybe prison and maybe jail, maybe being incarcerated won't be so cool anymore. Maybe it puts a little bit of a stain on the cool factor, the social currency attached to going to prison in our community. Because this is part of it. You're in there with, this is part of it. It's dudes that go in there straighter than 6 o'clock and they come out straighter than 6 o'clock. But while they're in there, they are full-blown sexual homos, LGBT. So, if Lil Nas X can put a little dent in the prison, jail-loving culture within our community by making people just realize, throw it in their face, like, yo, this is what your man was bragging about going to. Like, sister. Because a lot of the time when you grow up in Blackistan, you have a lot of cognitive dissonance to things. Like murder, death, like a 3-year-old was shot. Like, that's supposed to be a big thing. In our community, it's like, oh, for real? So you seen the game last night? Yeah, man. So-and-so scored 30 points. Like, it's not a 3. In other communities, a 3-year-old got shot. It's like a 3 months, everybody's mourning over it. The 3-year-old gets a mural. Our community, the criminal, the goddamn dude been to jail all his life, robbing everybody in the neighborhood, he gets shot by a cop. He gets the funeral. He gets the mural. He gets the statue. So it's a lot of cognitive dissonance in our community. And I was definitely a part of that. I definitely had a lot of cognitive dissonance about the things that go on in our community. So that's how I know it, from me. So sisters will see this and be like, wait a second. That son man I got sleeping on my couch just came home from doing 13 years in here? Man. Maybe she won't be so enamored with him. Maybe she'll require something else from him. Other than that he was he was upstate and he did his, nah. She like, wait a second. You gotta show me something else. Show me another trick, homie. Another magic trick. That trick, I figured that trick out. And maybe the young teens on the block looking up to the OGs, young teens that haven't been to the joint yet, will be like, man, this stuff for the birds, man. This stuff for the birds, Jack. Nah, homie, nah. Man, you ain't never been to, nope, never, nope. Instead of being like lying and like, I do, I've been to jail. Like, black of you're a lie, say you've been to jail. Just to fit in. Now it's like, nah, I ain't ever been. No. Never, ever. Nope. So, salute to Lil Nas X, man. Peace, I'm out.